Hey Beauty, in this episode, I talk about the recipe that I use to make my very own homemade body butter. When I rubbed this body butter on my heel, I could see and feel the difference on the very first day that I did it. So, this body butter is so luxurious, it's so nourishing, and it's completely natural, made by God's plants. Even if you are not interested in making your own products, I just wanted you to hear this episode as inspiration for you to know that there are so many amazing plants that God created for our health and for our enjoyment. I use cocoa butter in this recipe and it smells really great. I talk about yarrow palm. I forgot to talk about how delicious and refreshing the smell of yarrow palm is because of the pomegranate. It smells delicious and I love it. So, but as I said, if you're not interested in making your own products, I just want you to think about how much God provided for us when He provided us with all these plants to put onto our skin to protect our skin. This as the skin is a really huge organ on our body. So it's really important to protect your skin. So, as I said, as you listen to this episode and listen to all the amazing health benefits of all these plants and essential oils, the cocoa butter, the shea butter, the coconut oil, just let it draw you closer to our provider who provided all these wonderful plants for our skin, for our health, for our food, and for our enjoyment. If you want to move away from modern medicine, if you want to discover healthier alternatives for your family, if you want a healthy body, then you're in the right place. Hey beauty, I'm Alexandra. I'm an author and clinical research nurse who discovered that Jesus is the source of true healing. I am the Lord your healer. Exodus 15:26. Hey beauty, I wanted to do a really short episode on my recipe for homemade body butter. I've always wanted to make my own personal care products, but I just never got around to it. I guess I was afraid that I would get the wrong ingredients or that it wouldn't turn out right. But I was kind of forced to do this because I bought some cocoa butter. I don't know if you know much about cocoa butter, but it's actually really hard. You can't use it as a cream, so you have to melt it and then you have to mix other ingredients with it. So I finally made my own body butter. I'm so excited to share it with you because it is so soothing and nourishing to the skin. The reason why I would encourage you to make your own products is because a lot of the products out there contain ingredients that are not good for us. They mess with our hormones and our body in general. If you are unsure about toxic products, if you have doubts about this, I encourage you to go to episodes 26 and 27 where I talk about this issue. So here is the recipe. This comes from everythingspeachy.co.uk. So you take 1 cup of raw organic cocoa butter, half a cup of organic virgin coconut oil, unrefined, and half a cup of a carrier base oil. The author of this blog used almond oil. I used castor oil because that's what I had on hand. And then it says you can use 10 to 30 drops of essential oil of your choice. And here is the method that she shares. Number one, if using a combination of essential oils, put the drops into a bowl to infuse for around 3 hours. This is something that I didn't do. I'm not sure that this is necessary, but you can do it if you want. Number two, melt down the cocoa butter and coconut oil until they are in liquid form. So what you can do for this is that you can take a saucepan. Well, first take a bowl and put cocoa butter and coconut oil into a bowl, and then put water in your saucepan. Don't fill it up too much, but what you're going to do is put a bowl that is safe to use on the stove, put it into the pot so that the the water in the pot warms up the bowl so that the coconut oil and the cocoa butter will melt. Number three, mix all the ingredients and put the ingredients into the freezer for about half an hour. Number four, once the mixture has started to set but is not completely solid, blend or whip to get the desired consistency that you want. So she says put in the freezer for about half an hour. I would check it about every 5 minutes. I think I only put it in the freezer for about 20 minutes, and that was plenty of time. You don't want it to be completely solid. So check it maybe every 5 minutes. What's nice about this is that after she took it out of the freezer, she thought that the NutriBullet would be ideal, but she said that it didn't work for her. She found that hand whipping was good enough to mix everything together, which is great because when I started looking at recipes to make my own body butter, I didn't want to do it because I didn't have a standing mixer and I didn't want to buy a standing mixer just for this. So it was great. I just used actually a spoon and I just whipped everything together and it turned out really well. Number five, store the butter in 1 to 2 glass jars. It doesn't need to be kept in the fridge. So as I said before, I was extremely happy with the results. The body butter is just so nourishing. It's so soft. It smells so good. So cocoa butter smells like chocolate, obviously. It smells like cocoa. There are so many health benefits of cocoa butter. It can help with signs of aging. It can help with inflammation. If you don't like the smell of cocoa butter, because it can be pretty strong, it smells really delicious. But if you don't like the smell, shea butter is also a great substitute. So you could use cocoa butter or shea butter. Coconut oil is good to mix with the cocoa butter. I will say that coconut oil, some people really like it on the skin, but coconut oil on its own, it doesn't absorb really easily, so I don't like it on its own, but when you mix it with cocoa butter, it's a really good mixture. I feel like there are endless health benefits of coconut oil. If you're interested, go to episode 5. I talk about coconut oil in the last section of this episode. And now castor oil. Like I said, I used castor oil because that is what I had. I hear that sweet almond oil is really great for your skin, but about castor oil, I've been hearing so much about castor oil the past couple years. I think one of the first times I heard people using castor oil, a friend of mine, I think she used it on her shoulder. She used cold compress. She used castor oil compress on her shoulder. It's supposedly really great for pain and so many other things. And then I just overheard someone in my homeschool co-op saying that she rubs it on her belly button, on her belly because it's really good for your gut. Then I heard someone else said that she rubs it on her sinuses. And then another one of her friends, she rubs it on her sons or daughters' lungs and her chest, and it really helps her breathe better because she has asthma, and she claims that because of the castor oil, she doesn't need synthetic medications. I'm not recommending I'm not prescribing it. I'm just telling you what I've heard. And then also, a friend of mine said castor oil is just great for everything in the body. So she actually recommended to rub castor oil all over my daughter when she was sick one day. So I did a little research into castor oil. There's one lady, you might be familiar with her, Barbara O'Neill. She talks about castor oil a lot and how it's so great for so many things. She talks about using it for the joints, for uterine fibroids, just for so many things. So I tried to look into castor oil to see if there was research on it. A lot of the information is conflicting, but honestly, there's just so much censorship on the web. It's hard to know what's true and what's not because the big tech, it seems like they're still hiding information from us, putting all natural health information like on the bottom of their search engines. So honestly, I don't know if all those things about castor oil are true. I have tried it. I haven't seen a huge difference, and I did try putting it on the castor oil by itself on my heels. and it's very slow absorbing. So on its own, I don't think it's really great for the skin, but I think it's great to mix with other things. And honestly, since I've heard so much about castor oil from people that I know in person and people that I trust, I do believe that castor oil probably has some amazing health benefits. I'm not an expert at using it yet. Oh, and I just thought of someone else. A friend of mine says that she uses castor oil and rosemary essential oil in her hair and it helps with hair growth. So there you go. You can do some research on castor oil on your own if you want. Now, when it comes to essential oils, I want to talk about some of these essential oils. I don't necessarily recommend using essential oils when you're first starting out if you have no experience with essential oils, because some of these things like cocoa butter and shea butter can get kind of expensive. And if you start putting essential oils that you are not familiar with into your homemade projects, it might not turn out the way you want. But I'll just share with you some of the oils that you might want to try beforehand, before you start making all these body creams and other things if you want to start doing your own DIY projects. There's patchouli that I think is so great for the skin. And I will say that at first I really didn't like the smell of patchouli, but it grew on me. So this information comes from the Essential Life book. This is the 4.0 version. Here are some of the top uses. It's good for anxiety. When you smell it, it has a very calming effect. In here, it says it's good for body odor, it's good for stretch marks and skin issues. There are a whole lot of other health benefits here that I won't read. I'm just going to stick to some of the skin stuff. If you know my story, you know that I used to have pretty bad skin issues, and I found that patchouli was just very soothing. It was very great for troubled skin. So that's patchouli. And then, of course, there's good old lavender. I've said on the show before that I don't really like the smell of lavender, but lavender essential oil is really great for skin for I feel like any condition that you can think of. It's known as the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. If you want to hear more about lavender, you can go to episode 13. It's great for burns. It's great for just calming your nerves. It's great for inflammation. It's great for allergies. Lavender is good for so many things. So if you like lavender, that's something that you can put into your DIY projects. If you don't like lavender as much as I do, I still put a tiny bit of lavender just because lavender is so great for the skin. Frankincense is another great choice. Frankincense has been used in cancer research. It's great for anti-aging. It's in the Bible. Baby Jesus was given frankincense as a gift. It's just wonderful for all the cells of the body. That's frankincense. Another great oil is cedarwood. It's really calming, also good for the skin. It has this woodsy scent to it. I really love cedarwood. A yarrow palm combination made by doTERRA. Palm stands for pomegranate, would be another great option, and also geranium. So those are some of the essential oils that I would use. Once again, if you're new with essential oils, I wouldn't recommend putting essential oils into your DIY body creams and things like that, because you want to know what works best for your body, and you want to know essential oils what kinds of scents that you want. I think that in some of these recipes, they call for a lot of drops of the oil. And for me personally, I think I would use less because my body tends to be more on the sensitive side. So that's just my recommendation. If you wanted to try any of these oils, or if you are an avid essential oil user and you want to try doTERRA oils, you can go to my.doterra.com/her holistic healing. These are really great, pure, beyond, they call it beyond organic, certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. These are basically the only oils that I use. They come from all over the world. You can trace where these oils come from. Oils go through third-party testing. The oils are grown sustainably, and wherever the oils are grown, the farmers are helped and the community is helped because the community benefits from the harvesting of these oils. So there you have it. If you want some luxurious, beautiful, natural, completely natural body butter made by God's plants, I really want to encourage you to try making your own body butter. At the very least, if you don't want to make your own products, you might want to go use ewg.org. That's the website. They have this skin deep database. You can put in a product that you've been using. You can put the brand name, or you can put the ingredient, or you can put the name of the product into their database and see the research that has been done on the ingredients in your products. The website gives your products a safety rating, and that's where you can learn more about the ingredients in your products. So even if you aren't interested in creating your own products, like I said, I do encourage you to look into what you've been buying. I encourage you to start to get these toxic products off of your shelves. You don't have to do it all at once, but you can do it one at a time. Like if you need a new shampoo, you can start looking into some non-toxic shampoos and switch your shampoo out when you need new shampoo. And then when you need new body cream, you can do some research and choose some non-toxic body cream. So I hope this episode was helpful for you. Don't forget to go to herholistichealing.com/free and download your free guide, Holistically Healthy Woman, 4 Steps to Move Away from Modern Medicine for Christians. Thanks for listening today. If you like what you heard, would you take a minute to leave the show a review? If you want to connect with me, you can join me in my free community. The link is in the show notes, or go to herholistichealing.com. Matthew 11. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls.
For you is easy and my burden is light.
This content is for informational purposes only and is not meant to be medical advice.